The opinions expressed in the following program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Rogers nor Rogers TV.
Hello everyone, this is your COVID-19 local update. I'm Debra Hutchison in the Rogers TV studio. Joining us first up this week is Alan Hayward. He is the president of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 178 in Bowmanville. We're talking to Alan as our focus turns to the upcoming Remembrance Day ceremonies, poppy sales, and how our legions and our veteran services clubs are being impacted by COVID-19. Because, Alan, you are not immune. It has had a big effect on your operations there at Branch 178, has it not?
Oh, it has, yes. In fact, we have been closed since March 17th. So, yes, it's had a huge impact on us.
Okay, so let's first talk about the Poppy campaign. You know, by now I was looking forward to having, you know, the boxes in the stores and the boxes in the workplace, but that's a barrier for you this year.
Oh, it's absolutely a barrier. Well, the Poppy campaign doesn't start till late next week. It's usually 2 weeks before Remembrance Day when it actually starts. But normally we have, you know, dozens of volunteers at various businesses, liquor stores, beer stores, Walmart, etc., soliciting for funds and distributing poppies. This year, that's going to be a challenge with COVID and social distancing, and also with the in local businesses, we drop off the little poppy boxes that everybody is seeing. You know, your local convenience store or your insurance broker, wherever there's a poppy box, and you put your coins or your bills into the slot and you take your own poppy. Well, with COVID this year, obviously, you know, you don't want people rummaging around and passing their germs by hand and different ones. So it's a challenge all the way around. So we're trying to find some unique ways to do it.
How much money do you usually raise through poppy sales? And let's talk about how that money is used and what it goes towards.
Well, the last few years we've done really well. We had last year, it was approximately $70,000 we raised in Clarington.
Wow.
And that money goes to various things. I mean, it goes to the care. It's mainly to do with veterans. So if a veteran needs some assistance at his home or his family, their money can be used for that. He's in the hospital and he needs some comforts, you know, like magazines or a house coat, even something like that for veterans and their families. Also, we support the two cadet communities with $10,000 donations to keep the cadet communities, the Air Cadets and the Navy Cadets in Clarington. We support them. We're their primary sponsor. There's educational bursaries for children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren of veterans that can be used for hospital trusts. We can purchase equipment or donate directly to hospital trusts that support veterans, say like an MRI machine. If we've donated some money to Lake Ridge Bowmanville and they were purchasing an MRI, as long as veterans can benefit for it, we can donate to that. So there's literally dozens of different programs that the Poppy Fund supports.
So there's a lot at stake.
There is a lot at stake. So this year is going to be a challenge. There's no doubt about it.
How are you planning to work around COVID-19 so that you can still give people the opportunity to support you and so that you can continue to do your work that benefits veterans?
Well, we are still looking for some new options. But however, one of the options we have come up with is that we don't have the dates yet, but we're going to do several days during the Poppy campaign, a drive-through poppy donation and pick up your poppies at Branch 178. Branch 178 is located on King Street in Bowmanville, and you can drive through our parking lot and get out onto Queen Street. So we're going to have volunteers out there with buckets handing. People will drop in their cash into the bucket and we'll hand them poppies, and properly socially distanced with masks. That's one of the things we've come up with. We also have some online donations available through our Poppy Fund, which is branch 178 poppyfund@gmail.com. So that can be done as well.
Love that idea of the drive-through. Do you think, have you approached store owners to see if they are on board, if they might be able to help you out there?
Store owners, I'm not sure what you mean by the store owners. I mean, we're advertise it. We're going to put it next week, start putting posters about the dates we're going to have the drive-through in different stores. So that's one thing we're going to do for sure, but I'm not sure how the store owners could help us with that. But
I'm just wondering if they would let you, instead of being at their front door, maybe in their parking lots.
Well, perhaps it's that most of those store owners, it's common parking, so you'd have to get permission from the owner of the mall, let's say, to do that. But I don't see why we couldn't. But that's something that has to be. We're flying by a wire here, so.
True, you are. So I'm just putting it out there as a challenge to the owners of malls to help you out in that way. I love the idea of the drive-through poppy donations. You've also had some great support from a local publishing company.
Yes, well, it was a surprise. James Publishing, which has been around for over 100 years in Bowmanville, took it upon themselves to produce some lawn signs for Remembrance Day that are available at their location on Lake Road in Bowmanville, and they're free to anybody who wants one. It's just for the donation to the Bowmanville Legion. So it's fantastic, and I applaud James Publishing very much for it. It seems to be going very well as well.
And I notice all this information is also on your Facebook site for the Legion Branch 178, right?
Facebook site.
Okay, not only the Poppy campaign, you mentioned that the Legion itself, the bricks and mortars, the building has been closed and just recently opened.
We open on Saturday, this coming Saturday. We voted to open one day a week to allow people just to come in and meet some of their old comrades and friends, have a drink, and pay their membership dues or get information about the Poppy campaign and things like that. But it's only this coming Saturday. It'll be the first day open since March the 17th.
And that also must be a struggle. You still have bills to pay for that bricks and mortar.
We do. We are very fortunate. We are very fortunate over a lot of Legion branches in the country. We own our own building, and we have property and education tax exemptions from the province and the municipality of Clarington. So while we were closed, it didn't cost us very much, just minimal electricity and some custodial work. They go in and just clean and make sure and maintain, but very, very little compared to what it would normally cost us to operate. So, and we've been very fortunate that way. Very
fortunate. I would think that isn't the case for a lot of Legion branches throughout Ontario or in fact the country. And I've heard of some branches just holding on by their shoelaces.
Well, that is my understanding as well. And it's suggested that there may be as many as 10% of the Legion branches that don't recover from the pandemic, because they're paying rent and they're paying staff and they have commitments and that it's not like they were a booming business to begin with. It's a membership club, and all the money you did raise through various things, that helps operate. And if you weren't in there selling meals or selling drinks or having special events, that's your money to operate.
Right.
And fortunately for us, we're not in that position, but a lot of Legion branches are.
I know Oshawa MPP Jennifer French has reached out to both the federal and the provincial government, I guess urging them to provide some financial relief.
There has been some programs, I'll reiterate, Bowmanville hadn't had to take advantage. We never applied for them programs.
Yeah.
But most of those programs weren't for actual operating costs, so there was limits on it.
And of course, Remembrance Day itself this year, Alan, is going to look very different. We're used to large gatherings at the local Legion branches, but that's not going to happen this year, is it? You're encouraging people to still remember and to mark the event, but at home and in their own way.
We are. just for instance, in Clarington, in Bowmanville, every year we have a parade that goes from our branch up to the cenotaph at the town hall, and then the ceremony at the cenotaph, which is attended by hundreds and hundreds of people from the community, and that can't happen this year. So, because the town has rightfully so said no road closures, no parade permits, and we're limited to a gathering of 25 people. So we're still working on the details of how we remember at the cenotaph, but it can't be a big service. And the same in Newcastle. We do the same in Newcastle. And afterwards we have parade back, and then we have all day at the branch. It's jammed wall to wall with veterans and the pipers, and and food. That can't happen either. It's a completely different thing. So yes, we are asking people to take the time at 11 o'clock, give 2 minutes silence, and remember all of our fallen servicemen and women and anybody who's served.
We're quickly running out of time, but I want to ask you, there was a time when to be a member of the Legion, you had to be either a veteran or a direct family member of one. That isn't the case anymore, is it?
It is not. No, the Legion has 3 classes of membership. One is called Ordinary, and that is for RCMP or veterans of the Canadian Armed Forces. Associate, which is sons, daughters, grandchildren of a veteran. And the third one is Fraternal, which you don't have to have any affiliation.
Membership, has it been declining steadily throughout the years?
Yes. Ours has gone down from, God, what I can remember, it would be about 1,800 people. We're down to about 600 paid members at the moment. Now, ours was slightly inflated in Bowmanville during the building of Darlington, where there was a lot of out-of-town travelers who were members of our Legion that needed a place to go. But so that big number is it. But we have, in the last 10 years, gone down from about 1,000 to 600.
A shame to think that some may not survive COVID-19. We've only got about 30 seconds left. To you, why is it important to support your local Legion?
Well, the Legion supports our veterans and our service people and our community. We also donate to community sports events and things. It's just a part of our community that needs to keep going. It's a gathering place for people.
Okay. Alan Hayward is president of the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 178 in Bowmanville. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us. More to come after the break.
Okay. Thank you very much.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Anderson.
And I'm Allison Schaefer.
Well, we are back for a new season of The Parenting Show.
Little did we know that we were going to be having the pandemic version of The Parenting Show.
Yeah, but one thing stays the same. Right here on this couch, Allison is providing information to let families know that they are not alone with the issues they're facing.
Right, and we're tackling some of those big issues, the changes to education, Black Lives Matter.
All on Rogers TV.
And welcome back to Local Update. Joining us now via Zoom is Mr. Brian Wilkins. He is president of the Oshawa Naval Veterans Club. Brian, welcome to the show, and thanks for joining us.
Hi, Deborah. It's my pleasure to join you today.
For those that aren't familiar with the Oshawa Naval Veterans Club, I'm going to let you explain exactly what it is, who your members are, and what your primary goal is.
Well, the Oshawa Navy Veterans Club is located on Viola Avenue in Oshawa, just off of Ritson Road, and it consists of veterans, obviously, from the Merchant Marines as well as the Canadian Navy. The Merchant Marines, as most people know, played a very, very important role in the Battle of Atlantic, making sure our men and women were safely taken across the ocean. They were escorted. They escorted the troop ships, the supply ships. Without that escort and the sacrifices that were made, because a lot of ships went down, were torpedoed by U-boats, we would have lost the war. The Battle of Atlantic was one of the most important battles in Canadian history, actually.
Now, how do you differ from the Legion?
Excuse me. Well, the Legions were built and put together after the wars, but basically, without the Navy Club, without the Navy, without the Air Force, without Canadian Corps, the Legions wouldn't have existed because we would have lost the war. I don't think that we would have done that well without the other service clubs being involved, right? So unfortunately, when people hear about veteran clubs, they automatically think Legion. Well, it is the more popular of the service clubs. They're bigger than all the rest of us, and they do seem to get the most attention, where a lot of the other service clubs do get ignored, especially by our governments.
Now, you use the word service clubs, and that is key here. There is so much that you do for the community.
Our community benefits a lot from all the service clubs we have here in Oshawa. In Oshawa, we have the Navy Club, the Canadian Corps, the 420 Wing. You got the Polish Veterans Association up on Stevenson Road, and they all do community service. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do any since the pandemic started, because obviously for quite a while we were closed, and that's hurting Simcoe Hall Settlement House, that's hurting Denise House, the places that we normally donate to. We're struggling ourselves right now just to stay open. We're only open 3 days a week right now because of the pandemic and not being so sure about the safety, which is really hurting us. We can't rent our hall upstairs for more than the capacity of 50 people, which nobody's going to rent a hall for 50 people for a wedding. I mean, the restrictions are really, really hurting us, and it's hurting our bottom line.
Hurting your bottom line to the point where are you afraid that you won't make it out of this pandemic?
Well, what happened to us, I can't go into a lot of financial details, on a public forum, but I was informed early into the pandemic that our club could not survive to stay closed for longer than around the July mark of this year. It does cost money to be closed. You still have the bills to pay. With absolutely zero income coming in, do the math. I mean, there's no way to stay open, right? So our federal government did offer a loan package to service clubs that we applied for and we did receive. That loan package, you pay 75% of it back within a 2-year period, and you're able to keep 25% of it free of charge. That said, that was great for us. A lot of the other clubs didn't qualify for it because of different things, like not having the proper amount of payroll over the course of the last year. So it did save us at the Navy Club from closing permanently. But since that time, we've done a bit of work on the club to make it better when we do open fully, and we can rent our halls. We have a capacity of 170 upstairs. We can only put in 50, so we're not getting rentals. But that helped us keep our doors open. But as this pandemic keeps going on, and not being able to use our club to the full capacity, we're going through that money at an alarming rate. We're not getting the customers coming in like we used to. We have some dedicated members that come in every day and try to help the club, but a lot of them are aged and are afraid to come in, and I don't blame them. Yeah. It's a very trying time right now. And we're not getting any help at all from either provincial or federal governments, which I find quite alarming, because these places were built on the sacrifices made by people's grandfathers and grandmothers and aunts and uncles. There's a lot of people died to have these clubs, right? And I don't understand our government ignoring us. I don't understand it.
You say, so it's a loan, you have to pay the majority of it back.
Right.
If times continue like this, that's going to be difficult to do.
Well, they've given us 2 years to pay it from the time that we received it, which was around in the August mark. So you have 2 years to pay it, to pay it back. But if was 5 months ago, if this pandemic keeps going into spring, or even summer of next year, where we still can't rent our hall, we can't make the normal income that we normally make, that keeps our doors open, then yeah, we could ultimately close, and there would be another service club that's gone, right?
And many of your naval veterans clubs have closed, you say?
There has been a lot of them close. One that really surprised me was Windsor. It's a huge military and naval town with the lakes all connecting there. Me and my wife went down there for an event last year, and it was terrible to know that they're sharing one room of the local Legion because their club closed. Sarnia closed, North Bay closed. Monday of this week, I went up to Peterborough. The Peterborough Navy Club has permanently closed. They were kind enough to donate some of their memorabilia off the walls to us, some pictures of ships and stuff like that. That's important to the Navy. But there's a lot of them. Some of the Legions are struggling right now. I hate to see that. Some of the Canadian Corps are struggling. You sit back and you look at this and all the sacrifices that were made by all the veterans and the families of the veterans, not just the veterans, the families as well. I find it appalling that our government's just sitting back and only looking after the Legion.
Were you ever given an answer as to why only a loan was offered you? When we hear almost daily about government grants that are being handed out to help organizations through this time.
No, there's been no correspondence at all. I have written, a few emails. I've talked to Colin Carey twice now with the other presidents of the Legion and service clubs here in Oshawa, and we're not getting any response at all. Our provincial government, I understand everybody's busy. There's a lot going on, but at the same time, we're being totally ignored. And I don't understand how they can ignore us like this. Like these places are important to the community and to veterans and their families. And like I know it sounds weird, but like I'm dumbfounded to why we're not getting the attention that we deserve.
I know your MPP Jennifer French for Oshawa has also written to the provincial government asking on your behalf. Do you have any knowledge whether she's heard anything back from them?
I did get an email from Jennifer last week stating that they did take one step forward in trying to get rid of the licensing for us to have 50-50 draws, meat rolls. These are all income building events that we have at service clubs. We've always had to have a license for them, and nobody could understand that. They even went into nursing homes and wouldn't let nursing homes have bingo anymore, because they have to have a license. So they did
Right.
go once. They did try to eliminate that license. I'm not sure the exact result of it, but as far as direct monies for service clubs, there's been no response at all from provincial or federal government.
For those that are interested in perhaps donation and helping you out, how can they get in touch with the Naval Club?
If they want to get a hold of the Navy Club, we're on Facebook. They can join our Facebook page. They can look at our website. My wife designed a really beautiful website. Oshawa Naval Veterans Club, and there's links on there to donate, or you could come down to the Oshawa Navy Club on Thursday, Friday, or Saturday between the hours of noon and 6. Come in, have a drink, meet some veterans, meet some of the members, make a donation in person at our bar. It's always welcomed. We appreciate anything that the public can do to help us, obviously, because this is all built on the blood and sweat and deaths of veterans.
So, all told, your revenue drop thanks to COVID, what are we looking at?
Pardon me?
Your drop in revenue, do you have any idea of what it has cost you in lost revenue?
Well, we got ordered closed in May. We were like every other service club, Legion including. We were all struggling. I mean, every one of us has struggled. A lot of the veterans have passed away. Some of their families don't frequent the clubs like they did when mom or dad or grandpa or grandmother was alive, right? Mm-hmm. We have a whole new list, a new group of veterans, of Afghanistan veterans, and but a lot of people still view the service clubs and the Legions, unfortunately, as a cheap place for beer and listen to a bunch of war stories. Well, we're more than that. We have a group down there that cares about community, it cares about families, care about their veterans, and for us to be closed just like that, I mean, everything stopped. Of course, the bills still come in.
Right.
Even when you're closed, you got hydro and you got heat and you got water and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was expensive just to be closed, but it went on a lot longer than anybody expected, and it's still going on. And like I said, Deborah, we are open 3 days a week, but at reduced hours, and we can't use our facilities the way we used to, by having banquets and weddings and events like that. So it's really, really hurt us.
The loss to the community, if you were forced to close, we've got less than a minute left, so I'm going to let you have the last word. Why is it, once again, so important to support our service clubs like yours?
Well, if we were to get into another conflict, and you've got veterans coming home, they don't have any place to go. Like they come down here, like when right after World War II and right after some of the conflicts that we've had, they've gathered at the service clubs, for storage and stuff. But veterans had a place to go.
Brian, I'm going to have to stop you there. We are out of time. I'm so sorry. You're going to have to come back.
I would be more than happy to come back.
Okay. Our thanks once again to Brian Wilkins and Alan Hayward, and to you for joining us. Until next time, I'm Debra Hutchison. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
Thank you.